right, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Sudden Impact 1983. Giving it 5 out of 5 stars. Love this flick. I'll say it's third best behind the original and Deadpool. Cool looking movie poster. Dirty Harry is at it again. Rated R. Clint Eastwood's Sudden Impact. It's going to be another Karate Man recommendation. Go ahead, punk. Make my day. Sudden Impact is a 1983 U.S. action thriller film, the fourth in the Dirty Harry series, directed, produced by, and starring Clint Eastwood, making it the only Dirty Harry film to be directed by Eastwood himself, and co-starring the very good-looking Sandra Luck, who does not get naked in this one, but she does get raped. It's a dry hump rape. The film tells the story of a gang rape victim, Locke, who decides to seek revenge on her rapist 10 years after the attack by killing them one by one. First, she shoots them in the nads, and then she puts a bullet hole in their heads. Inspector Callahan Eastwood, famous for his unconventional and often brutal crime-fighting tactics, is tasked with tracking down the serial killer. This is Dirty Harry, polar opposite to the sequel. I mean, he's really out for revenge here. Clint Eastwood, shoot first, ask questions later. Barney Fife, who knows how to shoot straight with a .44 Magnum. The film is notable for the catchphrase, "Go ahead, make my day," written by John Milius and uttered by Clint Eastwood's gun-wielding character in the beginning of the film as he stares down an armed robber who is holding a hostage. Yeah, Dirty Harry just happens to be getting coffee in San Francisco. And the server is like dumping half of a canister of sugar into his coffee. He drinks a black. So he comes back to complain, and sure enough, there's a holdup. What a coincidence. This is the last Dirty Harry film to feature Albert Popwell. It is also the second film in the series to feature Bradford Dillman, although in a different role than the one in The Enforcer. Forgot to put Bradford Dillman's name in here. That's an easy fix. We can rectify that. And we can also put him on The Enforcer if he's not on there. Bradford Dillman. All right. In 1973, artist Jennifer Spencer and her sister Beth are gang raped. The attack leaves Beth in a catatonic state. And I'm curious if Jennifer and Beth are having an incestuous sister relationship. 10 years later, Spencer kills George Wilburn, one of the rapists in San Francisco, and she returns to her hometown of San Paulo, a fictional town, looking for the remaining criminals. Meanwhile, Inspector Harry Callahan is frustrated when another judge dismisses a case due to his direct methods or lack of due process, to be more precise. At his favorite diner, Callahan foils a robbery, killing three criminals in the process. Oh, he just happened to be there. He later causes local crime lord Threakus to suffer a fatal heart attack after threatening him with prosecution. Interesting. Interesting way of killing a bad guy. Just give him a heart attack. Distributed production company, the Malpaso Company, which I'm assuming is owned by Clint Eastwood, distributed by Warner Brothers, release date December 9th, 1983, running time 117 minutes. This movie is a bit long, but it has plenty of enjoyable spots. It even has a farting bulldog. Country, United States, language, English, a budget of $22 million in a box office of a whopping $150 million. Can you say lame stream on this channel? Unable to fire him because his methods get results. Callahan's superiors instead order him to take a vacation. In other words, the ends always justify the means. We'll give him a slap on the wrist for not following the law. Although he was very adamant about following the law in the sequel to Dirty Harry. But he's polar opposite. He even lets a murderer go scot-free because she murdered the rapist of her and her sister. Four of Threakus's hitmen eventually attack him. Callahan takes down three while the fourth escapes. Later, the suspect from the dismissed case and his friends throw Molotov cocktails into Callahan's car. That was a cool chase scene. Acting in self-defense, he kills his attackers. He just throws the Molotov. He takes the Molotov out of his car. He throws it through the window in the car, and the car sinks in the water with three guys inside. To get Harry out of sight until the Fuhrer dies down, Callahan is sent to San Paulo. Upon arrival, Callahan chases down a robber. The reckless but successful pursuit angers the San Paulo police. While jogging with this bulldog meathead, Callahan accidentally runs into Spencer. And you can tell they got the hots for each other. Is Spencer bisexual? Because they do call her a dyke, and for some reason, I think. On returning to his room at the motel, he is targeted by the surviving Thrill Kiss hitman who is killed by Callahan. Meanwhile, Spencer kills Kruger, a second rapist, by shooting him in the nads and the forehead. Callahan recognizes the modus operandi, but Lester Jennings, San Paulo's police chief, refuses to work with them. Because he's in on it too. His retarded son was one of the rapists. Callahan learns both victims are friends of Jennings' son, Albie, who's in a wheelchair. Ray Parkins, the female member of the gang of rapists, figures out they are being targeted, and he warns the two remaining men, Tyrone and Mick, at an outdoor cafe. Callahan meets Spencer again over drinks. He learns that she shares his emphasis on results over methods when seeking justice. In other words, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth leaves everybody blind except for, of course, the two main protagonists, Spencer and Dirty Harry. Over drinks, he learns that she shares his emphasis on results over methods when seeking justice, but he adds the caveat till it breaks the law. So now he wasn't in favor of breaking the law back in 1976 or whenever the sequel was. Was it 73 or I don't know. 10 years earlier, he wants to, he doesn't want to use harsh tactics, but all of a sudden in this one, he's back to his original Dirty Harry character. Callahan reveals that he is investigating Wilburn's murder, which rattles Spencer. Later, he finds Tyrone dead. To be more protected, Mick stays with Parkins at her place. While visiting them for questioning, Mick attacks Callahan. After Callahan subdues Mick, Callahan takes him to the police station. Spencer guns down Parkins. Again, shooting him in the groin and the forehead. Callahan and Spencer meet again, and they sleep together. Off camera, of course. There's one scene where this rather large breasted blondie is going to bed with one of the rapists, the bad guy at the end. And that was the reason to watch right there. On his way back to the motel, Callahan notices her car, which he had seen earlier at Parkins' place. Returning there, he finds Parkins' body. Two of Mick's friends bail him out of jail. Meanwhile, Callahan's partner Horace arrives at the motel to celebrate the easing of tensions in San Francisco. He meets Mick and his henchmen instead, who have been waiting to spring an ambush. Mick's gang kills Horace and neuters Meathead with a switchblade. They then beat up Callahan before throwing him off a pier, presuming he will drown. But no, of course. Dirty Harry Callahan never drowns. He's able to stay submerged underwater for a long period of time. Spencer arrives at the Jannings home with the intention of killing Albie, another one of the rapists. To her surprise, Albie, like her sister, is catatonic. A guilty conscience caused him to attempt suicide, which left him with permanent brain damage. To protect his own reputation and his only child, Jennings refused to jail the guilty parties. He didn't want the publicity, so there's some police corruption going on. You got nudity, you got the funny one-liners from Clint Eastwood, tons of violence, and this movie is just relentless. To protect his own reputation and his only child. Oh, I already said that. He convinces Spencer to spare Albie's life, and he promises Mick will be punished. Mick and his henchmen, however, arrive, and they capture Spencer using his gun to kill Jennings. Enraged at what happened to Horace and Meathead, Callahan goes after Mick's gang with his .44 automag. The gang brings Spencer to the boardwalk for another rape, but they are startled by Callahan's apparent return from the dead. And all you can see is the shadow of his head. Callahan chases, and his .44 automag, of course. Callahan chases Mick after killing his henchman. Mick drags Spencer to the top of the roller coaster, where she breaks free. Callahan shoots Mick, who falls from the top of the coaster, crashes through the glass roof of the carousel below, and is impaled on the horn of its unicorn. That had to be the coolest kill scene in any Dirty Harry movie. It, it was it was one of those laughable black humor kind of thing, because as soon as he got impaled, the carousel started playing music and going around with him impaled on the unicorn. That was classic. Before the local cops arrive, Harry Carey considers arresting Spencer. She, however, convinces him that her actions against the rapist were justified. The police arrived and they find Spencer's 38 on Mick. Ballistics, Callahan states, will prove that his gun was used in all the killings. So not only did Dirty Harry violate the rights of everybody in this movie, but he also lets a murderer go scot-free. The script was initially written by Charles B. Pierce and Earl E. Smith for a separate film for Locke, who was later adopted into a Dirty Harry film by Joseph Stinson. Filming occurred in spring 1983. Many of the film scenes were filmed in San Francisco and Santa Cruz, California. I thought it looked familiar. The fictional town was actually the Santa Cruz Boardwalk, which I've been to a bunch of times when I was younger, of course. The scene where I actually went there on the 4th of July and people were lighting fireworks on the beach. It was crazy. The scene where Harry chases a bank robber in the downtown business district offers a rare glimpse of the area before it was devastated by the Loma Prieta earthquake on October 17, 1989. I don't recognize any of that business area. It was all rebuilt after 1989. Footage for the robbery in Acorn Cafe was shot at Burger Island, later at a McDonald's, and now a site of a hotel at the corner of 3rd and Townsend in San Francisco. That is a bad neighborhood. Very bad. Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk was the amusement park where the Clint climactic scene was filmed. At this point in his career, Eastwood was receiving a salary that included 60% of all film profits, cha-ching, leaving the other 40% for the studio. Estimates had Eastwood earning $30 million for sudden impact. That's a nice payload for Mr. Eastwood. Later on, he would become the mayor of Carmel. He should have run for the governor of California, in my view. Which is your favorite Dirty Harry movie? I'll go with Deadpool. Karate Man's in the chat room. I'm not sure which is my favorite Dirty Harry movie. It's been years since I've seen them, but I enjoy all 5 of them. Maybe Magnum Force is my favorite, probably. I want to revisit them soon. Magnum Force is my least favorite. Still want to get them on DVD. Been a long, long time, very long. Yeah, I know. I said that repeatedly. Okay. I used to have the original Dirty Harry on Laserdisc. I've seen it. I must have seen it like 5 times. It was Locke's last film to be widely released, perpetuating a career-long pattern that saw her playing protagonists much younger than herself. At 39, Locke was older than the group of actors cast as the rapist and 21 years older than the youth catcalling her near the start of the movie. She was 6 years older than Audrey Neenan, though the character of Parkins is clearly meant to be older than Spencer. Moreover, the actress who played Locke's sister was 11 and a half years her junior. She still looks hot, though. Too bad she didn't get naked. She's got glow-in-the-dark skin. Kind of like that gal in the dystopian movie that I reviewed recently. Review aggregation website Rotten Tomatoes retrospectively gave the film a score of 53% based on 40 reviews. Pretty mediocre. The consensus reads, Sudden Impact delivers all the firepower and the most enduring catchphrase fans associate with the Dirty Harry franchise, but it's far from the best film in the series. Yeah, I'd rank it number 3. Vincent Canby, I think it's too long is a problem. But I wouldn't go so far as Karate Man to say that all 5 of them are great films. I think 4 of them are great, and 1 is good, but Magnum Force, I don't know. I couldn't get into it. I wasn't totally immersed by it. Review aggregation website Rotten Tomatoes retrospectively gave the film a score of 53% based on 40 reviews. The consensus reads, Sudden Impact delivers all the firepower and the most enduring. Oh, I already said that. Okay, Vincent Canby criticized the film, stating the screenplay is ridiculous and Mr. Eastwood's direction of it primitive, which is surprising because he had shown himself capable in such films as The Outlaw Josie Wales and The Gauntlet. Among other things, the movie never gets a firm hold on its own continuity. Sometimes scenes of simultaneous action appear to take place weeks or maybe months apart. Roger Ebert was more positive, awarding 3 stars out of 4, while noting that the film was implausible with a cardboard villain. He also praised it as a Dirty Harry movie with only the good parts left in and a great audience picture. Variety noted that everything is pitched for maximum action impact so audiences should feel they got their money's worth, but also thought that the action scenes put too much reliance on characters, particularly Harry, being in the right place at the right time. Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune gave the film 2 stars out of 4, and he wrote that nothing in the Dirty Harry sequels has ever come close to the evil Scorpio in its portrayal of a bad guy. Because of that, they are lesser films. We never feel that Harry is in any real danger. Kevin Thomas of the Los Angeles Times slammed the film as the exploitation picture at its most nakedly manipulative. Oh, we love exploitation on this channel, which doesn't just exploit sex and violence, but also audiences' prejudice towards minorities. Oh no, it's racist. True, Callahan's partner, played by Alan Popwell, is black, but he's around only briefly. Oh, so you got your token black guy, but he only makes a cameo. That's why it's racist. That it exploits with sleek cinematic skill, not to mention a great deal of righteousness, makes it all the more reprehensible. Yeah, if you're going to put the black dude in there, you got to make him like 30 minutes, 1 hour of film scenes. A negative review from Pauline Kael in the New Yorker remarked that the film might be mistaken for parody if the sledgehammer slow pacing didn't tell you that the director Eastwood wasn't in on the joke. Sudden Impact is best remembered for Harry's catchphrase, "Go ahead, make my day." United States President Ronald Reagan used the "Make My Day" line in a March 1985 speech threatening to veto legislation raising taxes. When campaigning for office as mayor of Carmel by the Sea, California in 1986, Eastwood used bumper stickers entitled, "Go Ahead, Make Me Mayor." The film is recognized by the American Film Institute in these lists. 2005 AFI's 100 Years, 100 Movie Quotes. Harry Callahan, "Go Ahead, Make My Day." Number 6, "Make My Day" is a novelty song recorded by U.S. country artist T.J. Shepherd featuring Clint Eastwood. It was released in February 1984 as a second single from the album Slow Burn. The song reached number 12 on the Billboard Hot Country Singles and Tracks chart. The song was written by Dwayne Blackwell. And Karate Man has left the chat room. His favorite is Magnum Force. My least favorite is Magnum Force, which is not to say I don't like Magnum Force, but I just couldn't get into it. I couldn't. Sudden Impact 1983, rated R, 1 hour 57 minutes. Very cool looking poster with a mean Clint Eastwood scowl and a bullet through a window that he's peering through with the San Francisco skyline in the background. Dirty Harry is at it again. Gets a pretty decent 6.6 out of 10 on IMDb, 51,000 ratings. Very popular. Well, not super popular, but somewhat popular. When a woman exacts deadly revenge on the aggressors who raped her and her sister 10 years earlier, Inspector Dirty Harry Callahan is assigned to the case. Yeah, even though he's violating prisoner rights. He still gets assigned to cases and stuff. Just take a couple days off. Relax for a while. More like this: The Enforcer, Deadpool, Magnum Force, and Dirty Harry. It's not a coincidence that the Deadpool is the lowest rated Dirty Harry film. It's also my favorite. Charles B. Pierce wrote the line, "Go ahead, make my day." The line was inspired by a warning that his father would say to Pierce when he was a child. According to Pierce, his father warned him, "When I come home tonight and the yard has not been mowed, you're going to make my day." As Horace exits the car while visiting Harry, who's about to begin target shooting in the woods, one of the Panavision cameras is clearly visible, reflected in the car window, as well as Eastwood's son, who was visiting the set. Harry Callahan is quoted as saying, "Go ahead, make my day," while he dares a crook to shoot his hostage. Just like with the previous movies, the 5.1 DVD Blu-ray remix replaces a bunch of sound effects, mostly gunshots, with more modern ones. However, in addition to that, right before the carnival shootout at the end, originally when Harry was approaching the villains, the music had a very loud screeching sound, but the remix completely removes it, but remains intact on the soundtrack and foreign mono tracks. Featured in At the Movies, Christine Silkwood, Sudden Impact, and Thriller from 1983. Soundtracks, This Side of Forever, performed by Roberta Flack. Music by Lalo Schifrin. Lyrics by Dwayne Blackwell as Dwayne Blackwell. Okay, I guess I'll put Roberta Flack in the movie credit, in the music credits. Why not? Say music by Roberta Flack. All right. Release date December 9th, 1983 in the US. Country of origin US. Language English, also known as Impacto Fulminante. Filming location Santa Cruz Beach, Santa Cruz, California, USA. Production companies Warner Brothers and the Malpaso Company. Box office budget of $22 million estimated. Opening weekend, US and Canada, $9,688,561. As of December 11th, 1983, gross US and Canada, $67,642,693. Gross worldwide, $67,642,693. I don't think that's correct. I think it played outside the US and Canada and made more money. Runtime 1 hour 57 minutes. Color, it's in color, of course. Sound mix mono, aspect ratio 2.35 to 1. And here's a review from Ispy Beeper. The title of the review on IMDb is Great Guns. The Dirty Harry series are great films. All right. So Ispy Beeper agrees with Karate Man. Forget reality and political correctness. Just enjoy the films. Like the rest of the series, the formula is perfect in Sudden Impact. A great actor delivering action, humor, thrills, and excitement. I think this one had more laughs in it than any of the other movies. So, yeah. Cool flick. Highly recommended. Check it out. I posted links to the Amazon rent. I think it's $3.69. Or is it $3.79? I don't know. It's $4 to rent. You can't get it free anywhere as far as I know. Because it's lamestream. And lamestream movies always cost money to stream. So there's that problem. If you're broke like I am, waiting for your bonus check and your settlement check, and $4 might be a big deal for you. I know it was for me. I had to rack up my credit card big time. I don't even know if I'll have money to pay off both of my credit cards tomorrow. Anyways, such is life. We live in the United States, the home of the free and the the land of the wage slave. So there's that problem. I'm not complaining though because I'm getting a huge settlement from the insurance company in a couple weeks, followed by an even bigger settlement around New Year's. So I'm just waiting for my lawyer to put that together. He's really good at it, apparently. And, I can prepay all my bills. My church friend has a couple of empty rooms. So I got to see if I can get a deal from his wife. We'll see how that goes. I really haven't belabored moving into the convent. I haven't made a big stink yet. Mainly because I don't get along with the pastor or the parochial vicar at that church masquerading as, well, it's an evangelical neocon war hawk church worshiping the false idol of Donald Trump, and is posing as a Catholic church, I suppose. But they are bringing in new priests, so that's somewhat promising. At least these priests don't think I have spiritual cooties because I actually follow the teachings of Jesus and Catholic doctrine. Well, they blaspheme Queen Mama Mary. You should have seen this one priest in the courtyard on Sunday. He was hiding behind the bush until my son and I left. That's how pathetic this guy is. He can't even talk to me because he thinks he's better than I am with this neocon nonsense that Jesus taught people to blow up each other's heads like Dirty Harry. I guess he thinks it's funny that the U.S. dropped bunker buster bombs on Iran because it went through the middle of the earth or something. I don't know what he's talking about. He thinks it's funny. So he talks to all the Trump supporter parishioners because those are his idolater worshipers that I refuse to associate with in the Legion of Mary. Well, I'm done complaining about my church. I think I'll go take a nappy poo. But before that, I want to go down my list. Sudden Death, 1995, is number 1 on the list, followed by Mercenary 2. Thick and Thin, 1998. At number 2, and last but not least, number 3, Saint Teresa of Avila television show from 1984. Parental guidance suggested. That looks interesting. I'm not sure about the first 2 Karate Man recommendations, but I'll try to get to those 3 this weekend, and then Monday I'll try to get to Rocky 4. So that's the plan, Stan. I'll probably have to take my car in to Firestone and Jiffy Lube this weekend, so I'll have plenty of time to watch on my phone if I don't fall asleep first. Laters.